Buenos tardes, Islanders. So usually I go into a vlog with some idea about what I want to do, but this week I almost completely forgot, and I don't actually know what I want to do this week. Right now, though, I am reading a thread on the Your Pants forums, which, by the way, if you haven't joined yet, you should join, about Walter Manlove, the man whose tombstone John saw in his last video, the last Thoughts from Places video, which was, I thought, very interesting. The thread, and Hank talks about this in his video today, is trying to uncover who Walter Manlove was, but from what I've read, they're also trying to figure out who his wife was, because there appears to be discrepancies in the records. Stuff like this is cool because it makes you realize that you're not the only person to ever exist. And I'm not trying to make that sound bad, but it's like a lot of times we don't think of the past in a real sense. You think of the past as a bunch of black and white people doing black and white things, but in reality, people were as diverse as they are today, and I think it's important to remember that. That's why I always like listening to stories from old people, because you just kind of get a feel of what it was like and what they felt, and it just makes it all the more real to you. This general concept was brought to my attention last year in history class. I had a very interesting teacher, and one of his main questions to us was always, why study history? And we should think of a personal reason to study history. When you ask that, say, to a bunch of middle schoolers, they're all going to say, oh, because we learned from our mistakes. Other people will say, oh, because it repeats itself. Well, if you think about it, we obviously aren't learning from our mistakes if we're repeating ourselves. So, I divert from the textbook answers like those when I answer why study history, and I say that I study history because I think it's important, and I think it's cool to figure out what my ancestors were doing, in a broad sense. Generally, I think I come from a lot of farmers, but farther back than that, and kind of branching off the family tree, I think I might find something real interesting. Obviously, I'm European, and I don't really know from where on the great continent of Europe I'm from. What history could do for us then is give us information on what was happening in Europe in that time that I'm wondering about, or where were the people going? What were the people going through? What were living conditions like? What did most people do? And I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty cool. Being able to see the past like that reminds us that we're not the only ones to have lives. We might live to an old age, but we remember that other people have lived to that age too. Entire civilizations like the Greeks or the Akkadians rose and fell to dust in 1,000 years. And we weren't even born yet. We weren't even thought about yet. There were many, many people before us. And in my history class now, that's what we're talking about. We just started the Greeks, and we've gone over major European civilizations and where humans came from, and overall it's pretty interesting, because you have to think, you are the successor of a very long line, and everyone before you was also a human. Taylor, I'll see you on Thursday. Also, Islanders, if I'm not much mistaken, we have gone just over a month now. Congratulations!